Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today, let's continue. Okay, we go from outside to inside, right? We start with human as a generic term, and then we go to body parts, the ears and eyes, the sensors, right? The face, the surface level of things. And today we go directly to the bone deep. Okay, bones. So Chinese called bone, 骨, third tone. And we depicted a bone with meat, actually. What is a bone in this image? The bone in this image is the upper part because the bottom is meat, which is kind of like omega sign and with two stripes to show you the streaks of muscle direction going on the muscles here. And then here, the top means the joints of the bones. That's kind of where the muscles attach to. And then I guess the connectors, the joints of human um, bones show intricate patterns, and here is how it's abstracted that you can move around, right? Connecting the bones, the structures, so that it has a certain mobility in there. And so here are at least two bones. So you can see the recurring shape of it, right? One is it's kind of stacking up. Chinese, when stack up, it doesn't necessarily go in vertically. I mean, in this case, it could be vertically, but it could also mean going further away. But in any case, it's the two things connecting together. And I'm not sure, like here at the bottom right, what's that cavity is about? Is it like to join out the to draw out the joint structure that have some cavity so that things have space to move around, right? In any case, this is gu, and you can see the simplified traditional Chinese exactly the same, and the script about 2,000 years ago format of this bone, this rendering back then concept is about the same, except it's more curvious, like this omega sign. For the efficiency of writing, eventually we straighten out the curves for the most part, and things get rectangular. Versus in the past, it's probably more realistic depicting. Okay, expressions. 骨瘦如柴 bone skinny, meaning skinning to the bone. Like you don't really have much muscles or fat on the bone that you can see the bone shape itself. That's bone skinny. 如柴, like twigs. So I guess twigs as a fuel starting material have this dried up sense of it. It's dry. That's why it can burn, right? That whatever liquid in it already dried up. And so when a person's image is bone skinny, we compare that to this dry wood piece, twig, that, or kinder, even, like we use that to describe how dry that is, meaning we don't really have much between skin and bone. And that's 骨瘦如柴. And we can, imagine people who suffer from that. Okay, 敲骨吸髓, knock bone, suck marrow. Okay, it seems to talk about the dining practice of how you're going to suck the marrow. You have to break the bone apart and go to the chamber where marrow is stored. And that's the procedural, right? You have to knock up or break down the bones into two pieces, and then you can get to the marrow. And I would particularly use the word suck because to get a marrow out, well, in contemporary cuisine, there is such bone marrow dish, and it's kind of a horizontally cut a bone in half. So you can get to marrow by scooping it up simply. But in the past, I would imagine probably food processing was not that advanced that we can accurately like laser cut a bone into two pieces. And in fact, in Chinese, we use 敲骨, like you have to hammer down. So what shape you get out of it is by random, right? You don't really get the clear cut surface that you can just scoop it out. So we have to spend further efforts to get a marrow out of it. And the Chinese cuisine regard marrow as a good, nourishing nutrition for the body. I don't exactly know why, but probably because the Chinese regard marrow as something hidden below. It's it's almost like the deepest, the hidden body parts of us, right? It's way below the surface. It's even wrapped inside the bone. And whatever is harder to get, probably for Chinese mind, is that's probably more precious for your body, more nutritious. And we often use marrow, just like in English. There's a poem talks about suck the marrow out of life, right? So marrow symbolizes the deepest hidden part of life and also the essence of life. It's almost like it's the wetware, our brain and the spine and everything in between, that fluid that we don't really get access to. Like we definitely don't be able to touch it, hear it, like sense it in any way. We can only sense somebody's marrow by, I guess, having long behavioral observation, see what they do, see, hear what they say, and then kind of guess what's the marrow, meaning the algorithms, if we use the computer lingo that we operate on, each one of us, what kind of operational system inside us. And that's the essence, that's the core of a person. And in English, both English and Chinese, this marrow is associated with that essenceness of individuals. So 敲骨吸髓 not only talks about just on a dining level, oftentimes because here we're talking about getting the last bits, somebody's essence out of, like you eat up the whole thing. So it's a kind of a bloody image almost to describe someone who is going to 敲骨吸髓 means how to say, take advantage of other people almost to the last bit that you're going to get to them. So get the last bits out of somebody. And it's not exactly a positive term in that sense. If you really break somebody down, and well, this is not only like a person to person, it could be like a system, systematically treat somebody or some group of people to take advantage of them and get the last life essence or resources out of that community or group of people or individuals. And then that's the behavior, the dining behavior we're talking about here. 白骨精, white bone spirit. 白骨精 first was a coined term to describe a type of almost like a witch. It's gendered female distinctively. So it's almost like a vampiress because it's white. It's somebody bloodless and then bony. This spirit doesn't look with much life in it. And also, this spirit is ill-spirited. That's going to harm you and kind of reduce you to a pile of white bones as well. So it's not something I want to mess with. So this 白骨精 term was first coined by the author of 西游记, The Journey to the West. I was trying to recall how many hundred years ago that this author create all kinds of terms for all kinds of roadblockers, so to speak, to this group of four to, I guess, seek truth. And then they have to went through hell to get there. And this hell was made of all kinds of creatures or non-creatures or evil spirits. And Bai Gujing was one most distinctive one because it is quite scary and it's a powerful female figure, but evil. Okay. There's a twist in contemporary Chinese. So somebody map this term white bone spirit 白骨精 onto a particular Korea woman. It's kind of in a sense like a boss woman almost in English, but it was because of its cultural heritage or how loaded that term is to Chinese because it's a powerful female figure that it's kind of the devil wears Prada, the woman depicted in there, that kind of image that is not an easy person you can please. And they definitely are very competent and demanding in what they're doing. And Bai Gujing actually is the abstraction of terms to describe white collared, right, knowledge worker, and the Gu Gan, meaning they are the main they are basically the best employees a company can rely on. So that's 骨干. That's like they are not loafers. They are really somebody reliable, the pillars of the company, so to speak. And the 精英 meaning they are elite. They are really high caliber, the sort of A players concept. They're the best of their kind. And then it's mapped particularly to female, such outstanding, overachieving female career woman. So this is one image from a movie called 我的前半生, My First Half of Life. And then this is a kind of an image that's probably a good representation of what Bai Gujing in contemporary Chinese society would look like a career woman, not settled down for marriage or easily get into marriage, knows what she wants, very good at what she does, and can be ferocious in a business setting. But she cares for her friend, has a deep friendship with her besties. But there are some dramas in there. Her imagery, not only like how, I mean, it's a professionally suited, right? But also haircut. There's this fine balance between femininity and business professionalness, right? Oh, that power suit embodied on her, and she I guess has empathy, but she's tough to deal with as well. So that's the imagery. Thank you for your time. See you another day.